G'day viewers, welcome to a live presentation from the Goat Shed. So today is Saturday, June 10th, 2023. It's currently 8 degrees Celsius outside, which is around about 46.4 degrees Fahrenheit. And there's a little bit of an icy wind blowing from the northwest. But right now we're sitting in the comfort of the brand new entertainment area, which was built by Graham and his brother just recently, and it's only been completed this week. And there's a kitchen there behind us, you can more or less see. And we've got a heater up there on the wall. Television.
Soundbar.
With a sound bar, got everything. Now, this is the first live presentation we've done in quite a while, so we're not sure how much of an audience we're going to get. We really gave no notice. We just decided to do it as we were unable to do what's happening in June earlier in the month simply because of the construction that was going on. And a little later on we'll just show you what's been happening there in the Goat Shed. There's a fair bit being constructed down there right now as we speak. We think the builder's having a bit of a day off today. So what have we done this month? What have we done, Graham? We've finished.
We're finishing up on the high hand that we've had here for a while, and it's actually getting picked up today, hopefully.
Yeah, that's right. And we've had a Bally Golden, a Bally Blue Chip Bingo in here, or just a bit over 12 months now. We've been working on and off it. It gave us a lot of trouble.
But it was one of those jobs that we just done when we had nothing on, really. And we've had a bit of the last week or so, we've had a bit of a layback. Of course, we were waiting on parts, so we thought we'd get back into it. And we're pretty well knocked it over. We're just tidying up, doing light lamps and a few other little things, and a few relays are buzzing, and I think a couple of steppers is a bit sluggish, so we were just repairing them, and one more week of testing and it should be ready to go. And Spanky's very happy about that.
Yeah, so with that done and out of the road, that'll give us a lot more room in the shed, and with the renovations we're doing at the moment, that too will give us a little bit of a free up a lot of space, a real lot of space, which we desperately need, and we'll be able to tidy up a lot of the parts and everything that we've got.
It's going to be so good.
Yeah, it's been, how would I say, awkward probably most of this year now with the construction going on, but it's something that had to happen down in that shed because the way it was just becoming really difficult to work.
Yeah, the way it's going to be now is that the machines are going to be in storage out of the way, so we've got plenty of work area instead of the machines being right in our face and just have to move them all the time, so it's going to be a lot easier. So we'll show you in a minute what's going on.
So buried under the rubble down there is another Bally Bingo machine. It's called Beach Club. I think the chap dropped that off here late last year, and we had hoped to have gotten to it. But this construction on the veranda was sort of just came out of the blue when Graham's brother moved back in.
And of course the front shed was filled up with a lot of stuff from the veranda, and it was always in the way. So now that the veranda's finished and all the cushions and chairs and everything else is back on the veranda, we've got plenty of room to move at the moment. So 2 weeks, I think the builder said, hopefully it should be done complete, so that'll be good. And then we can probably one of the first jobs we'll be doing is putting that beach club up on legs and having a bit of a look over to see but what we've seen already, the game is very clean and tidy and in very good condition. So hopefully it's just going to be a bit of a strip down of all the steppers, and maybe the search unit might need rebuilding with clutch washers maybe, but we'll have a good look at it and see what needs to be done. But I think it's going to be a fairly straightforward job.
Well, what year's Beach Club? Late 50s?
53.
Oh, 53. Wow.
So it's got the different cards, and it's got a main card and two super cards, I think they are, yeah. Just two cards and 9 numbers, which is very interesting. Actually, a lot of people think that those games are pretty boring, but they're actually very complex once you get into them. They've got a lot of features that a lot of people probably don't realise. So I'm looking forward to doing that one.
So it's 70 years old at some point this year.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. We're still waiting on a playfield to be returned for Target Pool. That's been an ongoing thing too. Those of you that follow us on our video channel will have seen our video on the Trip Bank total rebuild. That was off Target Pool. So we've still got that to put together.
And that's pretty well the only thing we've got left to do, because the cabinet's been restored. All the mechanics has been done. It's just the playfield.
Yeah, the motorboard's been done. We've put all the parts are back in the cabinet, ready for the playfield to go in. The head box has all been done.
Yeah, once we put everything on the playfield, we've got to change every light globe socket. I think we've done a few already, but we've done the majority of the stand-up targets, stationary targets. I think we've got about probably a dozen left, maybe, because there was 27. I think, yeah.
26 or 20, yeah, 26 or 27. It's an odd amount, yeah.
Yeah.
The most stationary targets at any Gottlieb, wasn't it?
And apart from that, everything is going to be brand new on the top of the playfield, and a lot of things underneath the playfield. So I reckon once we get the playfield back, probably give it a fortnight, and we'll be ready for testing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got 3 other cabinets that are being completed, painting and stenciling. They are Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah, EM.
An EM game, of course. Quick Draw. We've nearly finished that, and we've just got the cabinet. That then just goes back to the owner, and he can put it all back together. And we've got Solaride, electromechanical Solaride, which is fairly rare.
That's going to have the full paint job.
Yeah, that's and we're pretty lucky, even though the mornings are cold. That generally by about 11 o'clock, it's around about
pretty good.
19, 20 degrees Celsius, which is quite conducive for painting as long as the wind isn't blowing.
And I'll probably end up doing a little bit this morning.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get that done. Now, for those of you that are interested, I received a notification, an email from a good friend in America yesterday. He did a video only a week or two ago with John Osborne, John the former Gottlieb designer, who worked for Gottlieb from 72 to 84, I think it was. A machine called Texas Ranger. Now, I didn't know this, but apparently back then in the earlier days, Gottlieb considered going into the home market with EM pinball games. So they made this Texas Ranger, and it actually hasn't got a motorboard in the bottom cabinet. It's just got bells and the score motors in the back box, and all the relays that you'd normally find on the motorboard are in the back box. So it's somewhat reduced in a way, and it's quite interesting to see. Now, I don't know how to put links up in these live chats. I know you can somehow, but for those of you that are interested, if you go to a YouTube channel called Rizzle Razzaluno, RIZZLERAZZULO, something like that. I don't think too many channels with a name like that will pop up, and there's a few interviews on there also that were done. The guy who owns that channel, his name's Will White. He may be familiar to some of you people out there. He currently lives in Alabama. He was at the Lodi Pinfest there a few weeks back, and he was up there with John, Randy Peck, and a few other notable people. So have a look at that. It's a pretty good interest for people, I believe. I was fascinated by it actually. It's really weird. The cabinet has got no front door on it, so that's a bit bizarre.
And the playfield's a Longman, is it a Longman?
Yeah, it's a Lawman type playfield. Yeah.
So which everyone knows is a good game.
Yeah, so it's called Texas Ranger. Now, oddly enough, we had a Texas Ranger in here.
Was it the last Texas Ranger or something like that?
Oh, what was it called?
Yeah, something.
It was made for the Italian market. Yeah. So it's sort of a bit similar.
Yeah, but it needed a lot of work.
Yes. Okay, let's try and show you the renovations now. I've got the gimbal all set up with the microphone, so it might muck up a bit, so bear with us for a second. We'll show you what's going on with all our renovations.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's the TV with the sound bar. There's the all the new furniture that was bought. That doorway there goes outside to the walkway into the house. There's a heater up on the wall. It's quite nice. The
Lounge.
there's a lounge. There's all the that wire, I'm not sure what you call that, strung along the back, giving it a nice effect. And then around here, we come right around here and we've got a kitchen. So we've got R2D2 there, the smoker. There's a sink over there with hot and cold running water. Very, very important. It's a wonder Spanky isn't there now. There's a bar fridge.
Ooh.
Oh my God, and there's alcohol in there. There's a cooktop on the for the wok, and there's a big barbecue that's yet to be christened. Big 4-burner barbecue, and we've got these hidden drawers. There, Graham just opened one up. They slide in and out, and there's more over here.
If you can find them.
Yeah, you got to find them. There's another one. So that's all come up very nicely. Now let's just come over here and show you what we've done, or what's getting done, not what we've done. So here we have the extension of the shed. So that's the front shed, and what's going to happen is that's going to be used as a storage area for machines, so that gets machines out of the middle of the shed. And there's also going to be some shelving put in there for parts and stuff, and it will also provide room for head boxes, and we could stand machines on their end in there. We figure we'll get about 6 machines in there.
We'll probably have a rack for legs as well.
Yeah, which is more than enough. I mean, we really don't want 6 machines in here at once, but it's just the room that we've got. Yeah. And just over in the back there, to the left of the high hand machine, that's the doorway in there, but there's a wall along there. There's going to be a bench built along there that we can work on. It'll be table height. Okay, so the roof's on there now. That just went on yesterday, and now the rest of it will get completed. Now it doesn't look like we've got too many viewers here at the moment, but if anyone wants to tell us who's there, just type away and tell us who's there. If anybody's got any queries or questions, we'll be happy to answer them for you. I think I've shown you all this at the moment.
We'll have a look at Mount Moneybung. Beautiful mount.
Oh yeah. There you go over there. That mountain behind us is called Mount Moneybung. Now, overseas viewers probably know that we have Aboriginals in Australia, and that's named after one of their things, I don't know, customs, God knows what. There are a couple of cell phone towers up on Mount Moneybung, and you can actually walk up there. I've never been up there. I think you went up there when you were younger.
I used to walk up there when I was about 12-year-old, right from here, this house, and probably take in an hour. Yeah. It was all bush, there was hardly any houses.
Yeah,
So-
and you can see industry over there
Yeah.
all now.
There used to be a farm on top of the hill, and used to be a cranky old bugger. You go up there and go for his gate. Used to get out a shotgun and chase it.
Really?
And just to the left of the top of the towers used to be a row of caves that you used to explore,
Oh, gee.
which was very interesting. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, there you go. So, yeah, that's as you can see, people, there's not a cloud in the sky today. And, of course, if it stays that way, that will make it super cold overnight. And I think it will be super cold overnight tonight, because I think tomorrow it's predicted to be 6 or 7 degrees Celsius, which is quite cool for us. And there was the stairs that were made for us to come up. A little dog yesterday, a little accident on those stairs. She seemed to trip down them.
Which is trying to fly off them.
Yeah, so that wasn't real good. Okay, well, like I said, we didn't want to make a really long video here, and we gave no notice. But this is what's happening in the goat shed at the moment. Yeah, anyone out there got any questions? No, yes, no. And that's another thing. Last time we did a live presentation sitting on this veranda, a few people asked us about the signs, the goat shed signs that we had made, those tin signs. And we put up an address and everything, and a couple of people said they wanted to get one, but we never heard from them. And look, that's okay. We were just concerned that maybe the mail didn't arrive or something, and we don't want anyone to think we received your money and didn't do anything about it. But yeah, I think there was at least 2 people, but that's cool. If you changed your mind, no worries. But if anyone does want a sign, we still have them, or we can still send them to Canada, the USA, the UK. I think they were, what was it? I think they were about $30 shipped to the USA or something. Anyway, never mind. So that'll take care of that if you do. I know I had a lady contact me just the other day, just this week actually, wanted one. She's from Melbourne in Australia. She's getting one for a gift for somebody. Now let's think, have we missed anything, Graham? What else do we...
You can show Spanky's new friends from Rehab.
Ah, yes.
Jock and Andy.
Jock and Andy. Yeah, where are they? Ah, there they are. Hang on a sec, we'll get them.
Remember, Spanky's still got a bung leg, so you've got to be careful.
Alright, here we go. Let's have a look. Where are they? Pair of goats.
I reckon they could be Spanky's kids, actually. You just don't know with Spanky.
There they are. They're Spanky and Jock and Andy. Yeah, they could be his children. You don't know what that goat got up to.
Well, he did go to Cessnock for the weekend the other day.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah.
Alright, well, and Spanky thanks everyone for the well wishes that he received when he was injured badly. He seems to be back to normal now.
And he's got a very good vet.
He's drinking just as much. Okay, I'm from New Mexico. It's 5 p.m. right now. Maybe people are coming home from work Friday night. Oh, okay. So I got... so that was Pin Fixin'. And we've got Jim Holder there from Pennsylvania. What is it, Abbottstown? I can't... Is that right, Jim, Abbottstown? Oh, yeah, that's right. You said so. PA, hope everyone is doing well. Yeah, we're doing well. Here's MRN Bricks from Katie in TX, I believe it's Texas, yes. Hello, how are you, Mr. MRN Bricks? Now, New Mexico, yeah, I've never been there. Certainly been to PA and haven't been to Texas. A few people are trying to talk us into going to the Texas Pinball Festival, but I'm not sure. And then people are trying to talk us into going to Lodi. So we'll have to see about that too. So much to do in America, isn't there? You know, even I think in the USA, a few people commented to me that I've been to more states than they have, and they live there. It's probably a bit like here in Australia. You know, we've got West Australia. I've never been there. It's, you know, Perth, Fremantle, beautiful place. You've been there, Graham?
Fremantle is one of my favourite holiday destinations.
Yeah. I think you had a friend there, but he's since died.
Yeah, great old mate. Local celebrity around Fremantle passed away.
Goodness me.
Unfortunately, yeah, very nice bloke.
That's a shame, really. Yeah, I met him here once or twice. I think he came over, didn't he?
He used to spend a month here every year. He loved it here. All around the area, knew him, and especially the barmaids down the Byland Club, they loved him.
Oh. A dirty old man.
But time moves on.
Yeah. So I hope the weather over in the USA, I think it's summer now, so it's getting warmer, and my good friend Bob Milsner mentioned, or his wife did the other day, it was 90 degrees Fahrenheit in Illinois and quite humid. Now, that surprised me when they said it was humid in Illinois. I wouldn't have thought that. September last year when I was in Long Beach in California, it was 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And there was no humidity, so it might work the opposite over there from east to west coast, perhaps, I don't know. But here we get humidity in the summer, quite badly actually. As one gets older, it becomes a little bit more intolerable. And we have to put up with that generally from around about December through to probably early April with humidity.
Just one of the joys of living in Australia.
Yeah, one of the joys of living down under. But then we don't see snow like you guys do in places like, say, PA and, the Midwest. And gee, I was watching a YouTube video on New York City the other day, and it was shot in winter and it was snowing quite badly. So has anybody got any pinball questions they want to ask us? No, maybe, yes. It takes a little bit to type, doesn't it? One day we can probably have interactive videos where we can actually talk to each other live. I've seen things like that. When we do coaching clinics roughly once a month with Mark Gibson from Fun with Pinball, we use a thing called Jitsi. It's a sort of a video conferencing device, but you do lose, if too many people are on microphone or on video, you lose bandwidth, I guess. Makes it a bit awkward.
But when we have our courses next, we can interact with television and other things up there on the veranda now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so haven't done it yet, but that TV that we saw is one of these smart ones, and I've worked out that the tablet can, there's some smart screen or something, and I can link the tablet
to schematics and whatever else we need to explain.
Yeah, and to that telly, which would be great because I've got a really good slideshow on email, and the biggest thing I've got now is an 11-inch tablet screen, so I can then put that up on the telly and we can see it a lot clearer. So that'll be good too. All right, well, when we finish off here, what we're going to do is we're just going to go in and do some fine-tuning on the bingo game, and let's see what time is it. It's 9:15 in the morning now.
I'm just washing Spanky's undies. I've got to put them out soon.
Oh, Spanky's washing, yeah. So this chap's picking up high hand around about 10:30, I believe, so we've just cleaned the glass on that.
We did a test of about 10 games and it's going great.
Yeah, got it all ready. And I hope everyone can hear us clearly. Once again, we're using that new microphone we bought, but everyone told us before that the videos are coming up, or the sound on the videos are coming up a lot better. Now, you just talk about our videos for a moment. I ask this in a lot of the videos, but, I don't know that not everyone watches a video till the end. I get that. They only want to watch what they fast forward to and so on. We really want to know from our audience if there's anything that you want to see on a video. Now, bearing in mind, we haven't always got a bally machine, or we haven't always got a particular machine here, but a lot of things we can illustrate on other machines. Just a few days ago, earlier this week, I loaded a video where I worked on 3 Williams games at home. Now, I picked the Williams games because we haven't done a lot of videos on Williams. It's more Gottlieb. And okay, that's because there's more of those around. But whereas in those faults were reasonably simplistic, we try now and use schematics where we can. Now, we don't always have a printed schematic, and, you know, a lot of people were quite surprised when, you know, Graham hardly ever used schematics because he didn't have them, you know, and...
I just had to learn from experience, and I'm more of a hands-on person when I can look at the problem where Kim nuts it out sort of on the schematics, where I'll figure it out in the head, which is good because we make a common ground together and it works out really good.
Yeah, well, I really only started to learn schematics, I don't know, a little while ago, and, you know, sometimes, you know, I admit I get them a bit wrong, but that's okay, as long as we all get the general idea. But the way Graham showed me at first is if you've got a game, something's not working, you have a look and you might see a particular relay pull in. Well, it's more than likely that relay is the problem, or 2 relays, whatever, or it's one of those 2 are the problem, and you've just got to get there and operate what you want to happen, and then short the switches out even with a screwdriver or something, and you'll often find which is the dirty switch. Now, that's not the ideal thing to do, but sometimes it's quicker to do that than look at the schematic.
Of course, the thing is, you've got to remember that schematics, they're good, but it doesn't tell you if someone's took a wire and put it on a different lug. You've got to sort of check it all out and see what's going on to pick up these things. You can see what people's been worked on it before, and you think that's just not right. And so sometimes you've got to take wires off and jump it over to other things until you find the problem.
Yeah, now that's a great example. Now, what was the name of that wood rail we had here where the wire was on the wrong relay? Arabian Nights?
Arabian Nights, yeah.
Yeah, back in 2018, this guy sent us up this Arabian Nights. Oh, man.
Yeah, and it had this great filthy green wire going from the back box right to the trip bank on underneath the plate.
And to the front door.
Yeah. And so naturally we cut that off straight away. We don't need that because we know it's a hack, and once the hack's removed, we can work out what the problem is.
Yeah, so this green wire, it turned out, was designed when you press the start button, the replay button, it was hooked straight up to the reset coil on the big step unit.
On the rotary stepper.
Yeah, you know, they got them 2 step units in there. They got that big, the one that does the millions and the one that does the 100,000s.
Then you got your points one.
Anyway, we soon found out what that was all about. So the machine wouldn't reset through the circuit. Well, we ended up getting a schematic for it. Actually, that I can't remember how we got a schematic. I think we had to buy it, something or other.
I think we did.
Anyway, we stared at this schematic for quite a while, and anyway, we were just looking around. The reset relay is on a big trip bank on that game under the playfield, and we're looking at the relay, and all of a sudden we spotted a new bit of solder, a newer bit of solder. You know, it was much shinier than the other bits of solder in the wire. So when we found that, we then went and had a look at the schematic and said, oh, okay, it looks like this wire has been put on the wrong switch.
On the wrong lug. On
the wrong switch lug. And yeah, that was it. And that was one of the big problems that was wrong with that, along with the fact that's one of those games, it's got the big knob on the front where you can select what you want to play for, sort of thing, and it's a stepper. And it was seized. It was just seized right up. And that machine had a lot of stories and a lot of bad memories for us, unfortunately. But
put a lot of parts into it.
Put a lot of parts into it, and then the guy didn't want to pay for it, and there was a bit of an argument about it, and Anyway, he paid us a little bit of money, but not for the 60 hours we put into it. But anyway, that's life. We got it going. And we had another game here once, which was a Williams Star Pool. That was right around about the start of COVID in 2020.
That's another heck job.
Yeah, and we noticed that it had 3 little rollover buttons on the left going through a loop up the left to take you back through the top rollovers. And I think they paid 10 points each.
They were supposed to pay 10, but I think they were paying 30 or something. Or the other way around. We can't remember. Anyway, what it was that the hold-on circuit for that particular score sequence wasn't operating. And it was the same thing, a wire. You know, it's a Williams game, and they use on the score motor, they use a lot of those little yellow jumpers going from lug to lug.
Lug to lug. Yeah, one of those had come right off, both lugs. So we had to...
I think it had a fire in it too, didn't it? We had to fix it.
Yeah, it might have done. And another problem that game had was it wasn't carrying over from hundreds to thousands, the scoring.
Yeah.
And
we've done everything right, so...
We're looking at it, and anyway, as everyone knows, Williams have great manuals. It tells you what everything does on the relay. We're looking it up, and it saves a lot of time in a lot of ways. And what we discovered was they used a grey red wire and a white red wire in 2 different parts. One of the wires was for the advance unit under the playfield, and the other was for the 100-point score reel carryover. At some point in time, someone's had a fiddle around with the 100-point. They must have changed something, a switch broke, I don't know. And they've obviously unsoldered every wire on it, because that's something we noticed. And they were all okay, but what had happened, they'd crisscrossed the grey red and the white red, and of course, unfortunately, you can imagine they're cotton wires. What happened? Of course, they've gone totally white, both of them. So grey's turned to white and white's turned to white. Grey almost.
Yeah,
so that
bleach,
that took a fair bit of figuring out, and I was working on my own, and Graham was inside. You know, it was a bit of a worry, all this COVID at the start, and I was coming in, working in the shed. And anyway, we eventually worked it out, but you know, that's where a schematic helps. So please don't take us the wrong way. They are useful, but yeah. And we had another instance on a Williams game, which was a cabaret where, that's right, it would score 100 points. No, it'd score points and advance to ball 2 even before you shot the ball. Now, what that normally indicates is it's been re-rubbered and there's a switch touching, so it scores, and then when it
thinks that first ball's
been played. And that's what this was. And that too was on a make-break switch. Someone had put the wrong wire on the middle switch.
Just these things you've got to find.
Yeah. And we've always said, haven't we, Graham, like some of the things we see on pinball machines, and that's any of us that are working on them, you're seeing things that the pinball mechanics back in the 60s would never, ever have experienced. No. And may have tossed them with a problem if they did. Now, we had a step unit here, and I think we did it in our live video. It was worn, just worn. The drive pull was so sloppy in the rivet, it was unbelievable. We did a video on a Bally Fireball.
Yeah.
Someone had put the incorrect plunger in the match stepper unit.
That's right, yeah.
So in other words, the plunger that they put in was too long. It was only about, maybe...
Probably quarter of an inch.
Quarter of an inch or less.
So it was not getting enough stroke.
But it wasn't getting enough stroke to drive it. And that had been in there forever. Yeah. You know, someone's gone out one day and what had happened, it was all burnt. So it had a burnt out match stepper coil, probably because the 10 point or 1 point whatever activated score reel had burnt out, so it took it to death
So
with it.
maybe it's had a cook coil and the plunger was melted in.
Melted, and they put in
Something
whatever
else,
they've had,
yeah.
and said that'll do, and it, yeah. So you get all that kind of stuff, and yeah, we've had some bizarre things here. I've got a thing when we're on our training course, we show all the students so that they can see them, and this is what can happen, you know. So yeah, well, nobody looks like they've got any questions. We've been live now for about 35 and a half minutes.
Yeah, it's nearly morning tea.
It's nearly time to go to the pub. Maybe a bit early, but yeah, we'll get there. So, look, thanks for watching. We appreciate it, and I've said this before, we do intend to do a few more live videos, and we hope to do some in a sort of a capacity where you'll learn something about a machine. It's just a matter of timing and everything, and we just have to get an extender. We can't get real good Wi-Fi in the goat shed at the moment, even though it's only, how many feet would that be away, Graham? From that?
Probably 10 metres.
10 metres, it's about 30 odd feet. So we've got one of those Wi-Fi extenders Graham's brother's bought. He hasn't set it up yet, and we wished he would, and then we can sit down in the shed because we've got the air conditioner running down there. So there you go. Anything else, Graham, we want to mention?
I don't know, the beer fridge is pretty close.
Yeah, the beer fridge is close. Yeah. All right, well, cheers to all our American viewers. It's someone mentioned it's 6 p.m. on Friday down in New Mexico. I'm not sure, what time zone would you be in New Mexico? Are you still there, Pinfixon? Are you on Midwest time or East Coast time? I'm not sure. But there's four time zones in the States, isn't there? Yeah? I don't know if anyone can answer that, but yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, well, we've got someone called. He may not be, but that's okay. So sorry about that, people. And once again, thanks so much for watching, and we hope to see you again soon. So this has been another Goat Shed presentation.